What is up, Bulldog Nation? Episode 70. That's what we're on, Micah.
70.
And we got a great guest for you today. He's a former Bulldog, former standout here, collegiate player, and played professionally overseas.
Yeah.
So he has had quite a career, quite a trek, literally around the country and around the world.
Around the world. What do you say? It was 10 hours or something like
10-hour flight from Miami, I think he said.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's insane. You are
Micah Harris.
I'm Matt Tanner. We are the co-host of the Doghouse. Thanks for listening to us once again. We're excited to come to you today. We recorded our episode with our guest earlier in the week, and Micah and I just left F3.
Yeah.
With Luke went with us too.
Yeah.
And we're recording early on a Saturday morning.
We are, before Aaron even wakes up.
Oh, well, we could have recorded at 11 and she might not have been up. Actually, she'll probably get up here in a minute and want me to go get Starbucks, and then she'll go back to bed. That's typically how that works.
Well, I will probably grab some coffee for Becky on the way back home.
I'm confident, and we left a little bit early. They were still doing some things. But Luke's got to work this morning. He's got a jerk of a boss. And so we did get our nicknames for those that are concerned.
Oh, no.
I am Bubba, and Luke is Gump.
Bubba Gump.
So not at all what we thought they might come up with, but that's okay. First they went Batman and Robin, and I was like, yes. And Blair khakis said, no, that's too cool. I'm like, dang it. Thanks a lot.
I tried.
That's right.
I was the one that suggested Batman and Robin.
Oh, you did? Okay, yeah. That was cool. But anyway, we're excited to be here, and as our first time with F3, the Forge, it's really cool. We're very excited about it, and we'll be there some more. Before we get too far along, we want to give a shout out to our partners. First up, and certainly, and then the other is not least by any stretch, but our first partner we'll talk about is Mercy Phoenix, MERCI Phoenix, for all your healthcare staffing needs, EMT, EMS, RNs, LPNs. Mr. Jody Cheney, talked to Jody the other day, and he's got some in like Indiana and Tennessee and Kentucky.
He posted something the other day.
And he posted one, exactly right. It was, don't hold us to this, was like $40 an hour. You can go back and look.
Yeah, I shared it.
Yeah, I did too. I shared it. It was like $40 an hour and a $500 some kind of stipend and a housing expense. Or I go back and look at their post.
Pretty lucrative to me.
I thought so too. $40 an hour is
and I think
nice pay.
That was
paramedic or EMS or EMT or something. Yeah. They're so he's got stuff all over, and if you're interested in that, reach out to him. You can reach them on their Facebook page, Mercy Phoenix, or mercyphoenix.com. And also during this podcast, you'll hear their
commercial.
Commercial. I was going to say ad. Yeah. At one point through here, and it's got a phone number on there, or reach out to them. They're looking to fill those spots, and they're expanding all the time. So if it's something you're interested in, like I said, reach out to them. Also want to give a big shout out to Green Grass Guys, certainly last but not least of our partners, Mr. D. Bizzle and Mr. David Bizzle. They will get your lawn right. They are top notch in what they do. Actually, my neighbor, Bobby Crozier, his wife we're all good friends, but she told me yesterday, she's like, Bobby's secretly mad because your yard looks so much better than his. I'm like, I told him what to do. Like, just call D. He'll make it right. It's just, I didn't do anything other than mow it and edge it. So, but he will, again, we talk about, he is the turf guru, man. They have all the yards or the fields in Sikeston looking right, the baseball fields, football fields, soccer field. They just look terrific. And he will make your yard look very similar.
Just got off the football field, looked very soft and.
Oh yeah. Well, it's dormant basically, and it'll be starting to kind of come out of that dormancy. now the temperature's starting to warm up a little. That it's all Bermuda.
I was fixing that's Bermuda. Right?
Yeah. And mine's fescue, so that's why we overseed with fescue to try to each year to try to continually thicken it up because there was a Bermuda base there. But it will eventually, you try to choke that out to where it stays green like that year round. And fescue's a cold weather grass. It's really, you have to water the heck out of it in the summer. But he can make your Bermuda yard look good too. Don't sleep on that. It's not just fescue. Give a shout out to those guys, and again, patronize both of those. They are our sponsors, and they are a huge help to what we're able to do. Going down our list of shout outs, give a shout out to Luke. We don't have our graphics on the screen. Actually, we weren't able to do it this week because we did a virtual.
Yes.
It's through an app called Riverside. It's essentially like a recorded Zoom call, I can download audio and video or just one or the other. And so we'll have the audio on our podcast and then the video on YouTube. So be ready to look out for that. But Luke normally does our audio, our video and all our graphics and things like that. And so that'll be back up next week with our guest. Shout out to Erin. She's still asleep. Try not to be too quiet. Thanks for... we'll try not to wake her up today. Give a shout out to Justin, our general nuisance. Talked to him. He was in D.C. this week, hobnobbing with the title insurance lobby in D.C.
He said he had to leave Sunday, wasn't it?
Yeah. He texted me a few times. I know he was out there till Wednesday or Thursday. He's back home now. He texted me last night. Shout out to Tucker Cheney for all his help with our our video editing. Shout out to Derek and Brian James for all their stats and lore and just general sports information about the area and about Bulldog basketball and Bulldog sports in general as well. And shout out to Tyler Anderson, Twisted Arrow Woodworking, for a cool sign on the wall. We appreciate that very much. And don't forget to like, share, follow the Doghouse on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. And you can catch our podcast on Apple, Spotify, Amazon Radio, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, and just a whole list of podcast sources where you can download and check out our podcast. You can also check out our website, thedoghouse.buzzsprout.com, where there's also a player on there, and you can go back and listen to episode 15 from 15 forward, which started with Coach Hollifield. But if you want to go back and listen to the first 14, there is a link on our Facebook page to one of the Apple streams. We got 2 Apple streams. I can't correct it. I've just given up on it and moved on. But there's a link on our Facebook page. If you want to go listen to the first 14, you can click on that stream, and it'll play the first 14 actually. Also, if you're interested in partnering with us, give us a shout, give us a call, or hit up Micah or me, and we'll get in touch with you. And if you're interested in some swag, let us know. We'll be happy to get it to you. But we are ready to move on with our guest this week, Micah. It's is quite an interesting story.
It is,
and sort of where they started and where he's at right now. Kind of a full circle story.
Yep. Started
in Alabama and he's back in Alabama.
Yeah.
I don't want to give too much away, and we'll let Owen tell his own story, right? But it's quite interesting. It's again episode 70. I forgot to say this a while ago. Season 2, episode 28.
28.
Yep. And we look forward to you hearing the rest of our podcast today. Thanks for sticking with us, and we'll be right back after the break. Hey, thanks for sticking with us after the break. We are now moving on to our VIP guest this week. Another Bulldog Nation, a standout that while he was in school and even after his stint in Bulldog Nation, Micah, we're fortunate to have Owen Long here, who is Bulldog Nation knows him as the lefty shooter, right?
Yeah.
And Matter of fact, he got way less technicals than his brother did, like by a whole lot. However many Parker got, Owen got 0.
I think 0 is the number.
Yeah. So we had Parker on. If for our listeners that remember, we had Parker on a few weeks ago, and we were teasing Parker, and we said, you know what, Parker, you may have the most technicals by any person that stayed on the team. And so I don't know if that's a good record to have or not, but he owned it. He said, yeah, I think I did. So without further ado, let me introduce our guest. Today's guest took a basketball journey that started in Sikeston and eventually carried him all the way to professional basketball in Spain. Along the way, he competed at multiple college levels, battled through transfers, adapted to new systems, new cities, and experienced the reality of chasing the game far beyond Southeast Missouri. From Maryville University to Youngstown State University to Emporia State University, his path was anything but ordinary. Then came the opportunity to play professionally with, is that Feebwe? Feebwe Palma? Feebwe Palma, where basketball became more than just a sport. It became life in another country, another culture, and another level of competition. Tonight we talk about the grind of college basketball, the reality of overseas ball, the lessons that come from adversity, and what it means to represent Sikeston everywhere you go. Owen Long,
Welcome to the doghouse.
welcome to the doghouse, O.
Appreciate y'all having me.
Absolutely. And for those that don't know, we are using our virtual recording via it's an app or a website called Riverside. And Owen is actually in, as we like to call it, the BAM. He's in Alabama. And Micah and I, well, Micah's at his house and I'm at my house, but we're in Sikeston. And it's just really cool that we got the technology that we can do this. It's sort of like Zoom, but it's a little different, but it's basically the same. We're fortunate to be able to do this, and fortunate that Owen is able to take some time for us and is willing to join us on here and spend a little bit with us and just tell us about his journey. And Owen, talk about, so we talked a little bit about this, Mike, if I remember, with when Parker was on. Your dad went to school with me and other people, but he was school in Sikeston. Then he moved after, I think, his freshman or sophomore year to Alabama. And then you guys came here right before your junior year, right?
Yep.
Talk about how, like, where you guys started playing and kind of work your way up, and then how you got here, and kind of go through the high school part a little bit before we get to those.
Yeah. Well, we started playing basketball at a very early age, but around 8 years old, we got pretty serious. We were actually big into baseball, and I remember this one moment, but Dad asked us, do you guys want to go to Disneyland with the buddies? You want to have a basketball goal? And we chose the basketball goal out in the driveway.
Oh, no.
So that moment, I think Dad and all of us sort of realized, this is going to be a serious thing. So yeah, we played, through Alabama in high school. Played at Jasper. We competed in Birmingham. There's 7As in Alabama. We played in 6A, and some pretty good competition in Birmingham. Some good athletes. You're definitely getting some carryover from football athletes who can really run and jump. So that was definitely a good experience for us. And had from AAU and around 8 years old, we were playing with those Birmingham kids as well. So we were used to playing, like I said, against pretty good athletes. And then after our sophomore year, we sat down with Dad and we were all talking about, potentially moving or going to another school, a better basketball opportunity. Alabama's a big football state. And I think Sikeston was always on the back of Dad's mind. He always kept up with how the Bulldogs were doing, and of course, Coach James and him were always in communication. So we took a visit to Sikeston. Actually,
they've been friends. They've been, we could say, boys, like from back in the day. Even when they were here, Carter and I were friends, but they remained friends. And Brian was with your dad at UAB. He was like a GA assistant, grad assistant essentially, while Carter was at UAB and played basketball there. So it wasn't like they didn't know each other, and all of a sudden you reached out to him. I mean, they had been friends for years and years and years, and Brian lived down there with him. So, one thing I was thinking about when you were talking, you mentioned it. Tell a little bit about the difference. I've heard you and Parker and your dad talk about the the difference. Like when it's football season, there it's football season and nothing else. Kind of talk about that.
Yeah. Well, I think weather, of course, has dictates a lot with football and in states where, of course, it's going to be snowy and cold around August, October. It's more usually basketball. In the Midwest and even up in Sikeston, even though it's southeast Missouri, the weather is still different. So overall, I mean, Alabama football has, being the powerhouse they have with Nick Saban and Paul Bear Bryant and all the Hall of Fame players and all that kind of stuff. Just the overall state sort of is going to be a football state for the rest of the time. So high school is, everybody is almost like mini tailgates. It's almost like mini little universities as everybody gets together, and football is definitely the big vibe down here. And kids, instead of wanting to be in the gym, they want to be outside in the sunshine and 75. With the pads on, trying to go play at Alabama and Auburn. That's the big dreams.
Yep. So, all right. So I cut you off there. Kind of go back. So you guys basically had a family meeting, said we're moving to Sikeston, so to speak.
Yep. So I can't really remember. There was like a SEMO elite camp. And when we were visiting Sikeston, we went to that SEMO elite camp. And we actually played 2-on-2. We were just shooting in the field house. We pretty much made up our mind that Sikeston was the next target, but we were playing and shooting in the field house. We got to see it and everything like that. And Kevin and Fred actually came and played Parker and I in 2-on-2. And after that 2-on-2 game, we really just got to see, Fred walking in. It's a pretty big sized dude walking in. So we're like, this guy looks like $1 million. And then Kevin, of course, was a Bulldog and could, was talented as well. So after that 2-on-2 game, we just sort of saw the level. They were more like Parker and I as far as how they viewed basketball and how they had worked at it their whole life. So we wanted to come to Sikeston and play with guys like that. And of course, seeing the field house and everything like that, I'm like, we couldn't imagine playing in front of thousands of fans for a high school game because you're not getting that down in Alabama.
Really?
Yeah, no, not at all. And then we went to elite camp, and that was a good experience as well. We came back after that elite camp, and I think we all decided as a family that Sikeston was the next move. And then then we loaded up and went to Sikeston. I think it was me, Mom, and Parker. We all loaded up. I don't know if Dad was with us. He might have been going back and forth at that point with the Cardinal. But yeah, we saw farmland and cornfields, and I'm sitting in the front seat and I'm looking at Parker. I'm like, oh, what are we getting into? Just because it's a little bit of a different scenery. But yeah, that was the start.
Yeah. So, of course, I recall right after you guys got here, of course, Aaron and Emily, and they had swag for you guys, shirts and Bulldog stuff, and tried to get you into Bulldog Nation, get you in there pretty quick. How were the practices different with Coach Hollifield than say Alabama or whatever that you had?
Yeah. So just the intensity, and Hollifield, what a lot of people don't understand, but we're doing stuff in the summertime with Hollifield. You're going and playing in tournaments. I think the Rip City Classic, one we went to in Union, Tennessee, I think. Whether it's the weight room or at that time, Fred was big in the Vertimax and doing that kind of stuff. So I mean, we were working on our bodies, and Coach Will had us doing a lot of drills, and we were playing up and down. So we were getting in basketball shape 3 or 4 months before everybody else. Where in Alabama, it's football season. You're enjoying the football, season and all that good stuff. And then basketball starts, in November-ish or mid-October. So that's just that's a huge difference. And then of course the intensity of Coach Hoffield and how he runs it, definitely more military feel. But it definitely, that structure and that intensity is honestly what helped me even at the college level as well.
And so you didn't even, when you're in Alabama, you guys you couldn't even get a ball out, from what I
I mean,
understand.
you could definitely get a ball. I think Parker and I, maybe another kid or two would be in the gym, but just overall having serious practices and taking things at that next level as far as getting ready for the season. You're not really sniffing that until, you know, Octoberish.
Wow, that's crazy. Um,
But they practice football year round.
Yeah, for sure. And the coach might be over there on the stands watching a football game while you're practicing. It's just
so
how it is.
when did you realize basketball might be more, or that you wanted to do this past high school? When did you realize that? Was that here, or did you already kind of have those, as they say, hoop dreams before that?
Oh yeah. I had big hoop dreams at a young age. Dad, one thing I'm very appreciative of Dad and Mom, but they allowed me to have huge dreams from an early kid. I mean, I thought I was going to be Steve Nash or Steph Curry or somebody, and they never told me, you might not be as good as them, or you got to see how you grow, how high you can jump, how fast you can run, all that stuff that plays into it. But they allowed me to have this huge imagination and have those goals, and that's honestly what kept me going and striving to get a scholarship, even though even after my junior year we had zero offers. But that imagination, that drive, that that belief they had in us and everything allowed us to keep going.
Yeah, there. Talk a little bit about that, if you don't mind. Like how did that go down with your recruiting and stuff like that? How did that all happen?
Yeah. So actually, I got a little bit of some interest at an AU tournament my sophomore year, or excuse me, yeah, in Alabama. I was playing on an AU team. We played in some decently big time tournaments in Atlanta, and I had some games where I played, pretty well, and I had a little bit of interest here and there, some letters, whatever. But it was always the same thing, like how I was a late bloomer. How tall is he going to get? How big? All that kind of stuff, and then really my first personal text and all that kind of stuff was probably Coach Stricker after the Elite Eight game against St. Mary's, which, crazy enough, I don't know if he saw me in warm-ups and saw something, or he just saw spurts during the game, but he texted me and said he really liked my game and wanted to keep an eye on me, was definitely interested, and kept in touch with me my summer year going into my senior year.
Yeah, and then you guys had some workout, like Central Michigan, I recall. Maybe did you went up there and had some workouts and stuff?
Yep,
Just
yep.
I
So
mean,
that summer we went to some elite camps. Went to Missouri State. Went to SEMO. Went to Central Michigan. The Missouri State camp. Parker played really, really well. I actually thought he might squeeze an offer that camp. And their assistant coach, who's now the coach at Austin P. I forgot his name, but
is that Corey?
That's Corey.
Is that
Yep,
Corey?
Corey.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Corey Gibson. He's
Yep,
from
yep,
here. Yeah.
yep. And he really liked Parker. And then Central Michigan, we both played. We were on the same team, which was awesome. That's always a good thing. Parker and I were on the same team at elite camp, just so you're not spread it out or anything like that. And we both played about as good as it gets, and our team won all the games and everything. And they were interested but didn't want to pull the trigger. And I think SEMO, Rick Ray, even Parker might have been hurt during the elite camp, but Rick Ray came during a scrimmage and really liked Parker as well. But Central Michigan was the school I wanted to go to. That was at that point. It was far away, and I liked the look of it and everything. It was a sort of bigger school, and I wanted to go to Central Michigan. I thought that was a chance.
That's a high mid major. I mean,
wasn't that when it wasn't Drink there? Wasn't he their football coach? Or where was he?
no, He's at Appalachian State.
Oh, okay. Wasn't there a guy there that was saying row the boat or something, or that was in the football? I'm
I don't
chasing
remember that.
rabbits. Yeah.
They're the Chippewa.
When you Yeah, that's right, the Chippewas. I'll have to look that up now that I'm thinking about it. Um, when you kind of look back at your uh, Sikeston career, and how did playing at Sikeston, like, the expectations? Because here, I mean, and you played it. The expectations is, from not just from Bulldog Nation, so to speak, but
Yeah.
Coach Hollifield was like, "We're going to be good. We're going to work hard. We're kind of do what we're going to represent ourselves well." How did that prepare you for, like, the next level?
Yeah. So Coach Hoffield, I had a little bit of a different adventure than with Coach Hoffield. He's big into psychology. He's great at reading people, body language, attitudes, personality. In basketball, you're sort of expressing your personality with the way you play. And I was not big into defense. I didn't like getting in the stance. I hated getting my face in there and getting dirty. I was, I like, when my hair was looking good. I like being, that was just sort of how I rolled. And Coach Hoffield challenged me from day one to, you're gonna have to get in the stance. You're gonna have to rebound on the bottom of that 2-3 zone. And really pushed me to do things that I was uncomfortable with for sure. Because if I just want to run around with the ball and shoot threes and run down the court and hearing the oohs and ahs. That was sort of my thing.
So him telling you you're going to have to guard, you're like, okay, even when I get to college, I'm going to have to guard too, right? You're not going to be able just to stand in the corner and knock down threes all the time.
Oh yeah, for sure. And even in college, that was definitely a label. But I did enough, where I was playing defense, but I always wanted to conserve enough energy when I got on offense. I had enough to let it go and do my thing. But yeah,
I love
but
it.
yeah.
How So when you got to college after leaving Sikeston, was there a part of your game that, like, it translated real easily, and then others didn't, not as much, or how did that look?
Yeah, so honestly, my shooting ability is, what translate the most. You know, at any level, if you can get those feet ready and make shots, or you can create your own shot and put it in the hole, you're going to have the chance to get on the floor. Um, as far as defense, athleticism, all that good stuff, position was going to be the big thing for me in college. As a shooting guard or a wing in college, being 6'1", 6'2" on a good day, you're undersized. So that was the biggest thing for me, was guarding wings and shooting guards. So in college, I ended up being fortunate enough. The way my path was, I ended up having the ball in my hands a lot after my freshman year. But that was the biggest thing for me, was just being in the right position, all that good stuff. Just because I was undersized for a two, so I really had to work hard on. I like standing straight up. I was a little bit more relaxed with the ball, and I had to get more intense to get that handle a little tighter, of course. But that was my biggest transition.
I was going to say, I felt like, too, just as I was biased. I thought you guys were good and could play at the next level, but I thought your ball handling really picked up, because you played you didn't play a whole lot of point guard and do a whole lot of ball handling at Sikeston, but you did some at the next level, right?
Yeah, yeah. And the big thing with Sykes was we had a lot of guys that wanted to have the ball. You got Kevin, Parker, me, Peyton. We all could hand the ball and everything like that. But I was more comfortable at that time with getting those feet ready and relying on Parker or Kevin or whoever to hit me for a shot. And I would squeeze in a couple pull-ups once in a while if I was really feeling it. But it was, Parker was very, very good, and Kevin as well. Even Peyton had a great IQ of finding shooters, and we all played together. But in college, it's more position basketball. I mean, now it depends on what program, what level, but typically, the wings and the twos are like I said, a lot taller and athletic, and you're either getting to the rim or you're getting those feet ready to shoot. But in college, after my freshman year of college, when Parker went to SEMO, that's when I started sort of putting everything together. And a lot of that was also development as well, physical development. I finally reached probably my full height.
Yep.
My body started coming together. I started getting some muscle, started jumping a little higher, and everything like that.
So tell us a little bit. So right after high school, you guys went to see Coach Stricker. He offered you guys both got a full ride. You're twins. You're together there at Maryville. How was that? Tell us a little bit about how Maryville was. So you had a year with Parker, and then Parker left and went to SEMO, like you said, after you're in his freshman year at Maryville. How was that playing with your brother and then not with him?
Yeah. Being with Parker, out there, they said y'all are twins. You almost have a sixth sense. Just that connection we had. He was always looking for me, and I always was reading Parker. I could sort of read where he was going, and I could find openings, and I always felt like, I had to be ready when he had the ball in his hands. So there was just a comfort there with Parker. But individually, there was also a want that, who can I be without Parker? And so when he left for SEMO, that was a big opportunity for me to almost prove to myself, you can sort of form into the player you want to be as well, which was handling the ball and creating for others and myself. It was definitely an adjustment for us, even socially, just being together all the time, living together. But it's also very, very good for us. But yeah, there was mixed feelings about it, but it ended up working out.
Sure.
So, like going to Maryville, y'all both were recruited together. How important was it for y'all to go originally to play together for y'all?
I think honestly, I was a little bit reluctant to go to Maryville. I sort of wanted to go my own path. Individually, I sort of saw like, if I'm paired with Parker, they're always going to group us as point guard and shooter. So I always felt like that was going to be a big thing, maybe holding me back. Do I think Parker and I could have been in college together for 4 or 5 years and been amazing together and did a lot of cool stuff for sure. But individually or selfishly a little bit, I wanted to go my own route. But yeah, I think at the end of the day, when we made our decision, it felt right. Still felt that comfort was still there, that we were going to go together and be together and live together and all that kind of stuff.
And y'all even got to play against each other later on in the career, right?
Yep. 2 times. Or
Cool.
yeah, 2.
I just going.
Yeah.
So, was Stricker there your second year at Maryville, or was he gone at that point?
He was gone.
Okay, so y'all played 1 year for Stricker then.
1 year for Stricker. Yep.
Okay. So how'd you get to Youngstown? How did that? Let me back up. You played 2 years at Maryville, then you went for a year to Youngstown State, which is in Ohio, Youngstown, Ohio. How did that come about?
Yeah, so I actually came back to Maryville. Of course, we got a new coach, and honestly, Dad was huge in my recruiting process at that time. He was really, really good at his insight and what he felt was the right situation. I didn't want to go back to Maryville, and he actually sat me down and told me that he felt like Maryville was the best opportunity and spot for me. So after that year, I put up a pretty good season, and I was fortunate enough to, after that, I was like, you know what, I want to go Division I too. And so I had people recruit me in the portal, of course, and had a couple offers from Division I's, but I felt like Youngstown wanted me the most. And they were the first one, I think, that offered me early. And Mom, or the family, we drove up there to Youngstown and got to see it. We had dinner with the head coach, and it was a good experience. I actually wanted to go to South Alabama, which is Division I down here in the Sun Belt.
Mobile.
Yep. And their coach called me the day that I committed to Youngstown basically told me, "Hey, we just signed a Auburn guy, TCU guy, and a Memphis guy, and there's one spot for you, and we gave it to a grad transfer from VMI, which is in a Division One as well." But he basically said, "I'm sorry, but that's just how the business goes." And I was upset, but I called the head coach at Youngstown. I was like, "Hey, I'm in. Let's go." So that was sort of what happened then, and yeah.
But you went in the portal, which is kind of what is what you have right now. You went in the portal and were able to transfer and just kind of went on. Okay. Yep. Okay. Yep. And then you were there 1 year.
Yep.
That's correct.
Yes.
Then how'd you get to Emporia State, which is, Micah, if you recall, that's in the MIAA. That's what SEMO used to be in. That's the conference SEMO used to be in when they were Division II, was the MIAA. So how did that come about with Emporia State? Because that seems like worlds apart as far as geography even.
Yeah.
It is worlds apart.
Yeah. Youngstown, believe it or not, I actually wanted to be a Penguin. I want to be at Youngstown. I broke my hand. Had some unfortunate things happen. Had some good moments. But after the year, I decided, the way Coach Calhoun was going, and he's now at Cincinnati. He's moved up, and he's done really well. But he was big into the portal, and every college coach is the same. They always want to find the best players they can get. And so he basically told me, "Hey, you can stay, and you'd be a rotational guy. You might squeeze starting minutes. You might be it, but probably, I'm going to go and try to get some guys." And he was honest and upfront, and I said, "I appreciate that." But I sort of knew in the back of my head, probably at the end of the season, that I was going to go somewhere that valued me. And Coach Doty recruited me and Parker really, really hard. Actually, the summer after Stricker got fired and we were in the portal, Coach Doty and them, they drove all the way from Kansas. I think they're in the Final Four in New Orleans. They're going to New Orleans 1. And they drove to Winfield, had the Cardinal, came in the house, in-house visit, and offered us then. So Doty had been on my radar, and that's how I committed to Emporia. And Doty and I'm a Doty fan for sure.
Yeah. So, well, I went to this game, but that was when Parker. So you were there 2 years, correct?
At Emporia, yes, I was at 2 years. 2 years.
And then Parker was 2 years at Missouri Southern.
Yep.
Missouri, and that's in the same conference. And so we drove out with your parents to Emporia, we went to Emporia to watch you guys play there, played one another and guarded, or did you guard one another, or did he just guard you maybe?
He just guarded me. I probably switched off. We switched. We played a switching defense, so we switched 1 through 4. But I guarded Parker some, and he actually got the rebound that was a huge rebound. We lost that game, and Parker, I had the opportunity to box him out, and he got the rebound and got fouled with about 1:30 left, and was a huge turning point in that game. So that's a typical Parker play, and that was a huge moment for them.
Doing the dirty work, that's Parker. Yeah. So the transfer deal was kind of becoming kind of a thing then, and they're super common now. You just hear about it all the time. What's the hardest part about changing teams that nobody really talks about? You're like, oh, okay, Owen went from Youngstown to Emporia or Maryville to Youngstown. And kids do it all the time. Dontrez and Jadis, they transferred some teams. So what does that look like behind the scenes as far as being the transfer, not the portal, but what's it look like for you personally? How does that work? Mentally, physically, all that stuff.
Yeah. My first time in the portal when I was younger, it was more stressful, and I was probably relying more on Dad as far as insight and my decision making. Actually, after Youngstown, I sort of told my parents, "Hey, I want to make this decision, and I want to go somewhere like that. I was valued and everything like that." So in a way, it's it's good for you in a way just because you learn sort of investing in yourself and making the right decisions, but also it can backfire and be a bad decision. Um, but yeah, as far as my first time in the portal, it was stressful, but my second time, it was more like I already knew it was the right decision. I'm betting on myself, and I'm going to make the most out of this opportunity that I'm given. And so yeah,
Yeah.
I know, like, I think just talking to kind of Don Trez's mother, I work with her. Like, they could have come back to Lindenwood, but I know sometimes when you go in the portal, you don't have that opportunity
yeah.
to, so, I mean, did you experience that? Like, where you had the opportunity to come back to a school or?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I could have. I mean, I could have came back to Youngstown,
Hmm.
but I just felt like I wasn't valued as much as Emporia. And
Hmm.
of course, even at Maryville, I had to sit down one on one, actually, like a Zoom call, and look him in the face and say, "Hey, coach, I'm not coming back. I'm going to go Division One." So that's also a hard conversation. Um, yeah, the portal can give you a lot of mixed feelings as far as stress and nerves and not knowing what's next. But I was fortunate enough, and during when I transferred from Youngstown, I already sort of knew where I was going, and I had previously talked to that coach, so I felt like he really valued me, and I knew where my next destination was going to be. But
Yeah, I was kind of thinking if you didn't, if you didn't know that about Emporia, it's sort of like I'm going to put myself out there. It's almost like going to play pickup basketball and you're the last kid that gets selected. Nobody wants them, kind of thing. How does that weigh on you? I mean, could it be if you don't get picked, so to speak? Is that a little bit of an ego?
oh yeah, I
A
mean
little bit tough on your ego?
yeah, it's definitely a reality check for sure. Um, if you're betting on yourself like that and you're basically like, you know what, because, you know, the whole point of college is getting your degree. And that was hard for me to see at that time. I was strictly thinking about
Right.
basketball and big dreams. I had a big imagination. But degree is what so when you transfer your credits and all that stuff, you're losing credits. You might have to, you know, take retake classes, all that kind of stuff plays into part. So it's more than just basketball. So
Right.
when yeah, that's also another thing. A kid could think that he's going to hit the portal and go Division One from a Division Two, and not get any Division One looks, and then go to a worse Division Two than he was at the year before. So it's just
Right.
it's a lot.
You're good.
Right. So
My wife just walked in the room.
it's all right.
You're good, Beck. You're good.
Um, so you played for, let's see, one, two. Did you play for four different coaches then, essentially?
So yep, four.
So I guess including Hollifield, was there one of them? Which one of them challenged you guys, or which one challenged you the most? I know you talked about Hollifield saying you're gonna have to get dirty, so to speak, but was there one of them that really you felt like you developed the most under?
Um, as far as developing and that kind of stuff, I would say every coach I
And,
played
and
for had their own
yeah,
flavor. And no,
don't,
it's
yeah,
no,
don't,
yeah,
don't. I'm gonna put you on
I
the
understand
spot
what
because I don't want you to
I,
have to choose.
no,
Yeah.
I understand what you're saying. No, Coach Doty, I would say this. Coach Doty at Emporia embraced me, so I almost got to show what I was capable of. Coach Calhoun at Youngstown probably pushed me harder in the weight room, to get my body in good shape and that kind of stuff. And then Stricker he was huge into you know the art of basketball, like more training and doing different skill development and stuff like that, which also helped me. And then Hoffield, of course, pushed me to play super hard and do things I was uncomfortable with. So each coach, I would say, had a different way of
Yeah.
developing me and things like that. But I would say Coach Hoffield and Doty, as far as coaches, and you know what, all three of those guys all got the best out of me in different ways.
So Micah and I obviously we're biased, but we think Sikeston's pretty high level basketball. Is it
Yeah.
is it's not prep. It's not college prep stuff. It's not Montverde, but that's college to me. That's almost like small college, or not small college, but that's like almost like college basketball. How what does like college? I feel like I know what that is, but what is college basketball? What does that really look like behind the scenes? You're playing that. What does that look like day to day?
Yeah, so it is, as far as summertime, when you're at like a Division One, you're getting there in June, or July, and you're, lifting weights uh, once or twice a day. You're doing body treatment, and then you're doing, of course, skill development. You can have some pickup. And then, that's just summertime. And then day to day, as far as season goes, I mean, you're probably lifting weights 3 or 4 times a week, and you're constantly getting shots up. And of course, practice at least 3 or 4 times a week, maybe five. And then during
Wow.
the season, of course, coaches start cutting down, and definitely depending on your team and your bodies and the coach's philosophy, it could be different. But both schools, Emporia and Emporia ran a little bit more like a Division One. We got there in the summertime, and we were lifting weights and getting ready for the season. So they were wanting to run it like a Division One. So both of those schools, you were. I felt like I was in the best shape of my life for sure, year
I
round.
bet. I bet. I bet. When
How hard is it
you
to balance like academics versus practicing 5 days a week during school and stuff? How do you? I mean, is that hard to manage?
Yeah, yeah, for sure. And there's definitely degrees like that would be a lot tougher on you to do balancing basketball. Psychology had some challenges, but I was in, at the time COVID had already hit, so you had online classes. That definitely gives you some. It's a little bit more lenient for sure. And then my senior, but yeah, it's definitely a task for sure. You got to stay on top of things. And coaches are really good at, definitely when you're a top player, they are really good at, making sure that you're taking care of stuff and helping you out, and different things like that. But it's definitely a task. And you're never really getting to just relax. But of course, I've gotten to see that the real world work and all that kind of stuff is a completely different challenge than college. College is easy compared to the real world.
right, right. Well, did you ever was there ever a time when you were like, man, this is just not fun anymore? Does it become a point? I've heard guys say it becomes more like at that point, almost like a job, and then it kind
Mhm.
of takes the fun out of it. Did that ever happen to you? I mean,
Probably,
part and the
probably when I
reason,
was in Spain. In Spain, I got a little bit
okay,
of that.
okay,
Yeah, during the States in college, I never. I mean, I was having a blast. Even at Youngstown, in my worst as far as basketball days, playing time, whatever, I was fortunate enough to build a lot of good friendships, and I even went a little bit on that wild side. Not wild, but
I was just,
like Parker mentioned, I got a
yeah.
little wild there. Yeah, for sure.
He said he had fun. He said he had some
Yes.
fun, and he
Yeah.
he was very. I told him afterwards. I thought he was really forthcoming. Micah and I talked about this afterwards too. He was like, you know what? I was frustrated. I was hurt. He was hurt some, and then he wasn't playing like he thought, or as much as he thought. And he goes, I just thought, okay, I'll just have fun, kind of thing. And then he said he really locked in toward the end. But yeah, he was totally honest with us about that. And he,
Oh yeah.
looking back, it's like I wish I wouldn't have done that
Yeah.
because it's
Oh,
so limited.
oh yeah, oh yeah, it's definitely a thing, and those coaches are smart. They're like all of them are very good with psychology and reading people and seeing that. I grew my hair out too, and Coach Stricker said something. I think my freshman year of college when Parker started growing his hair out, but he's like, when you grow your hair out really long or really fast at one point, you're rebelling against something.
I
So
My mom used to say that. That's 100%. I
yeah,
totally agree with you.
yeah,
I did that too. When I was in
yeah,
college, she's like, "You're rebelling." That's exactly what she told me. Isn't that
yeah.
I feel
crazy?
like Stricker was a pretty intelligent guy.
Yeah, he was.
Wasn't he the one to talk about taking sand to the beach or something like that?
Yes,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. He was
exactly.
spot
You
on.
don't have to bring
He was
sand to the
spot on.
beach, boys.
Yeah, he was spot on for sure. Yeah,
Yep,
but
yep.
yeah, yeah, it's definitely like you said, like Parker said, doing that kind of when it's a job. You can have fun with your job in college, but being a basketball player, you're getting paid to go to university, and so like you have to hold yourself to a standard, and even if you're not getting the play or whatever, you got to be really smart and take care of your body and always be in top
Hmm.
tier shape and still be in it even though you're not playing. So, and that was something that I went through a little bit. I got a little bit relaxed, probably gained some weight, had some good time, and but I made some great friendships out of it,
Hmm.
and all that good stuff. But yeah, there's
Yeah,
definitely an experience.
Parker and I, we called that your surfer dude era when you had your hair grown out. You're like a surfer dude.
Yeah, I promise I'm not rebellion right now. This is my summer flow. Yeah, yeah.
It looks good, man. It looks good. It really does.
I was sitting there thinking, I was like, man, I didn't realize how much you look like your dad. Like,
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
I think,
yeah,
yeah, I see their mom in them too. Yeah,
yeah,
I see
but
their
I'm talking
mom
about it,
too.
like watching it on the video. I'm like, it looks like,
Oh yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Um, when did you realize that? So we'll kind of move into this here in a second. But when did you realize you're like, you know what? I think I can do this. I can get paid and do this. When did that?
yeah.
How did that come about? Did you just go, I'm going to try it, kind of thing, or how did that
Yeah.
work?
Probably after my first year at Emporia, that's when I knew that I was probably going to have the opportunity to play in Spain. Um, there had already been the agent that I ended up signing with. He was already contacting my coach and interested, and
Wow.
just based on my numbers and stuff like that, I knew if I brought it my senior year that there was going to be potentially an opportunity. And then my senior year, of course, the agent flew from Spain, came and saw me play, took me out to eat,
Wow.
and and that's when I knew that I was gonna, if I wanted to go do it, I could do it.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a commitment, and that's a obviously a different part of the world. So how was that adjustment moving from, I mean, a whole nother country, right? And language barrier, kind of all that. How was that?
Um, well, you know, it wasn't as bad for me at first just because I'd been away from home.
Yeah.
Like I went to Maryville, 7 hours away from when Alabama. Now I was still close to Sikeston. I could still see you guys and be around my second or third family in a way. And then I go
Yep.
to Youngstown. Then you're 11 hours away,
Yeah.
12. So that's a different world. Then you go to Emporia, Kansas. So I'd been away in a way. I've been on a lot of planes, became a lot more independent and that kind of stuff. So it didn't really,
Yeah.
it scared me a little bit, the language barrier and just, of course, being in another country. That's a 10-hour flight from Miami. But yep,
Wow.
for sure. But when I first got over there, just their economy and everything like that, I was in just they're a little bit behind us. But where I was at was Mallorca, which is it's a like a tourism spot. I mean, like Kanye West goes to Mallorca during the summertime. I mean, it's a pretty neat spot. You're about 20 or 30 minute boat ride from Ibiza. So it was like almost like you're in.
Ibiza, isn't that the like the crazy, wild and
Yeah,
crazy part of, yeah, okay. I've heard
yeah,
some stories
yeah.
and seen stories about that. Okay.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So I was basically
Wow.
Miami and Spain. When that's how I
I
describe it.
I've heard that was beautiful over where you're talking about.
Yeah.
So what kind of basketball was it different? Like the style different than what you played in college or here, or what did that look like?
Yeah, so they play. I came from the United States, just NBA wise. Even college basketball has become more isolation. A lot of even your your 4 and 5s can shoot it now. So you can really spread the floor and just sort of find mismatches and go to work. So over there in Europe, they don't play a lot of isolation. They're still, side to side motion offense, a lot of they call it Spain action. So you're having a lot of different screener rolls, and just everybody touches the ball. It's a different kind of, basketball than, of course, in the United States. But we still play pretty fast. My coach in Spain was from like Cyprus, which is an island, but he had coached like some top leagues and coached some high level dudes. So we still played a little bit of a different kind of basketball over there, but it's just a lot slower and the ball moves side to side more, I would say.
Are they
definitely a lot more physical, a lot more hand checking, and yeah.
They have are they a 30-second shot clock? Or
Yep, 30. Yep, just yeah.
Okay. So that wasn't a change necessarily. So at this point, I mean, that's literally your job. Like you're playing basketball. That's what, like I'm going to the bank, Micah's going to the office. That's your work. So what did you do outside of that? I mean, you didn't work 24 hours a day. And I mean, I know there's times you traveled and this or that, but what did a day look like there?
Yeah. Yeah. So you wake up at 5 or 6 in the morning. We would have weights and then practice. Then you'd go home for a couple hours, recover. And we lived by a lot of restaurants right on the beach. So I would go and take a walk and get some vitamin D and get some good food in the system, which their food, by the way, is pretty good. And
it's better than the Mexican restaurants here in town.
It's definitely better on your stomach and health probably than the Mexican restaurants.
I bet.
But after that, I would recover, rest, and then you had practice again, and then that was pretty much, routine until your game.
Yep. And so did you guys play night games or typically like
night
6, 7
games.
o'clock?
Sometimes we play early evening games. We were right beside like a top 20 soccer club in the world. So there's like a 25 to 30,000, seated stadium right outside of our arena. I think like Steve Nash or Steve Kerr of the Warriors, they like actually own part of that soccer team.
Really?
But yeah, they would. So we had to coordinate with that soccer club. But yeah, usually it was night games or if it was early evening. But night games usually when we're flying to our other islands.
Yeah. Did y'all have good crowds and stuff like that?
Yeah,
there?
yeah. So we had some pretty good crowds. It got loud. Of course, they're really, really emotional. So it was even if there was 2,500 or 3,000 people in there, it was really, really loud.
That's awesome.
Will they do running of the bulls or whatever?
I'm sorry, I didn't catch that.
I said, is it Spain where they do the running of the bulls? Like where they
somewhere down there in Spain. Yeah, somewhere in Spain
I've heard
they do that.
I never saw anything like that, but I could believe it. And
it's somewhere in Spain they do. It's called, and they
just
do
tells
it
you
like
how rowdy they are. I mean,
yeah. The nightlife out there. I mean, they go out from 8 or 9 o'clock at night and stay out till 9 or 10 in the morning. So yeah,
it's not going to be conducive for an athlete. I can tell you that.
No, not at all. And
wow.
where we were at, we were really, really close to Germany, so we were getting a lot of tourism from Germany, and just all over Europe into Spain. So it was we were
on the beach basically.
Yeah. Yep.
Awesome. Do you miss that? I mean, or are you glad you're back here, kind of thing?
Yeah. So at that time, so in my mind, I always wanted to go overseas and see what it was like, and see if I could play at that level. And after I had a couple good games, against some teams and some guys where I was like, if I can score 15, 20, 25 out here against these guys, I'm pretty much, I've made it. Like I'm good within myself. And then you start looking at career wise. You know, do I want to do this for 5 to 10 years? Do I want to be in another country with a language barrier away from my family? At that time, I had a serious girlfriend. And so that all played into part. I missed college football, missed Saturday game days, you know, just everything about what the United States brings to the table. And I was like, ultimately, I was just like, you know what? I don't want to do this for a living or a career. And I pretty much accomplished everything I've wanted to. So I flew back,
Yeah.
after about 3 or 4 months.
Yeah.
So,
Listen,
like
man.
if you were going to stay there, like what would a season look like? Well, how long would you have had to be in
You
Spain?
don't get home till late April or early May, and you get in. So I got into Spain late or early August. So I mean, almost a year round.
You're
Wow.
a month or two home would be
Yeah, a
about
month or
it.
two home, and you're right back at it.
Wow. Listen, family ties are tough. Your family's close knit, with your parents, and your grandparents are there, essentially real close to you guys as well. I don't blame you, not one bit. The fact that I probably couldn't even go into Youngstown. I probably couldn't even go into Maryville. Heck, I went to SEMO, so I'm not being critical, not even
Yeah,
a little bit. I think it's awesome that you did that and learned a lot about yourself. Um, how you would handle situations growing as a young man, independent, um, kind of thing. Now, is there you got what's maybe your coolest memory from Spain that you had while you were there?
um,
Is there something that sticks out with you that,
it's
man, this was really cool?
probably one game where I was playing really well, and like I got the ball, and my coach sort of knew, all right, he's going to go 1-on-1, and so I got in. Um, I sized some guy up and just hit him with like a little crossover, and I hit a shot with like probably 30 seconds left, and the crowd went crazy, and the Spanish announcers were saying stuff in Spanish, but like Owen Long, you know, just saying crazy stuff, and you know, but that was probably overall my moment I remember in Spain, and of course the food and the guys. There was those guys. My teammates were great guys, and really cared for me. And my agent was great to me as well. So I mean, everyone over there was really good to me, and in a way, it was hard leaving. I felt like I let them down, but I also knew that if I wasn't fully into it, you know, like I said, heart wise, there was no reason to waste anybody's time, and especially when you're
Yeah,
getting paid to do it.
right, right. Listen, I think it's terrific. I think that's awesome. It's a part of your story. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I saw it. You're good. You're good. Yeah. Um, so essentially, at that point, you had maybe you thought about it, maybe you didn't. But essentially, at that point, did you think, well, my basketball career is over, so to speak? Did you kind of know it at that point?
Yeah, yeah, I knew it. I actually called Doty at Emporia, and tell you how much Doty believes in me. He was like, you know what, dude, you know, come back to the states. You can play G League. You can do it. And I was thinking in my head, well, hey, you believe in me, but it's gonna take some NBA and all that kind of stuff. You know, looking at guy who's below the rim and doesn't look like $1 million by any means. You know, out there with those guys. So I knew it in my heart. Probably it was over, and I was ready to. Um, you know, get back to the States. And at that time I had a serious girlfriend. So I wanted to try that out and get a job and start, you know, trying to be successful
Yeah,
in the real
yeah.
world for sure. Yep.
So um, you came back. Well, okay. Tell us this. What are you doing now, Owen? Tell everybody what you're doing now.
So now I am working for dad at the Cardinal Drive-In in Winfield, Alabama.
Okay, okay. Now, are you still doing? For a while, you were doing like some recruiting and stuff like
Yeah,
that. Are
yep.
you
So
still
I
doing
was
that as well?
yeah, um I was in sales. It was sales basically for like a recruiting company called NCSA. Basically, you contact even international. I was calling European families as well, but you're connecting them. Basically, you're trying to help them get a scholarship. So you're, you know, in long terms, my goal is to sell products or not sell as much of the product, but lead them up to be closed by somebody else that was selling a product that would help them get recruited. And I did that for about 8 or 9 months.
Okay. Okay. And so let me say, and for those that don't know about the Cardinal is like Jay's. It is a iconic. When people go away from Sikeston and come back where they want to go. I want to go to Jay's. This is the J's of where they live. Don't. It's not like some. It's a big deal there, and Owen and his family has owned that restaurant for now. You'd be the third generation, right?
Yeah,
Your
43
great.
years. And full
There
circle
we go.
actually started in Sikeston, Missouri.
Correct. If you guys remember, there was a Cardinal Drive-In in Sikeston. His grandpa, Mr. Mike Long, started it. That's exactly right. Yeah. So,
So Grandpa tried the franchise. He had a pretty good bit of them.
yep.
That's Missouri, Illinois, North Carolina. I don't know the other spots. And
hmm
actually the headquarters of Cardinal, he had the headquarters building in front of the Domino's Pizza now in Sikeston. There's a headquarters building that
That's
Grandpa
correct.
had.
Yep.
And so, but now we just got one. We found a good spot in Winfield.
Yep.
And we've been fortunate enough to have it rocking and rolling for 43 years. So I think we're going to stick with one as of right now.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, I think that's great. So, what kind of advice would you give to kids, certainly kids in Southeast Missouri that want to chase their hoop dreams? What would you tell them?
Yeah, I would just say, you know, first you got to believe in yourself. No matter how tall, big, athletic you are, if you put the work in, I know that it's a cliche thing to say. Everybody sort of said, but it's true. If you do the reps, and honestly, it's not always about playing college ball. Being a great
hmm
high school player and just maxing out
hmm
your ability. Some guys will
hmm
never play college ball, but they max out as players. So if you're going to put your time and effort towards something, max yourself out. Whether that's academic,
Yeah.
school, music, whatever it is.
Yeah.
That's my advice because it's really really hard to play at the college level. So just be the best player you can be, and always listen to the Holofields and you guys and the Coach James of the world and people who are the teachers and all that good stuff that are trying to help young people.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Um, we're going to roll into what we call now. We're almost an hour in, by the way. If it doesn't, I don't know if it seems like it. We're about an hour in, so
Yeah.
um, we'll roll into what we call the lightning round, which is kind of just like questions, like yes or no, this or that kind of thing. Um, who was the best player you ever faced? Not named Parker Long.
I'm trying to think. That's a tough one. Played a lot of good players. I'll just say high school wise, Fred was the most dominant I've seen. College wise, I played against a pretty good amount of good players on the same team and against. And then even when I was in Spain, I played against some guys who had sniffed some NBA G League and some Louisville, Arkansas kind of guys. So I mean, there's been just plenty. But I'll give Fred
Gotcha.
his flowers in high school. Definitely the most dominant dude I've seen.
Flowers. Give him his flowers. I love it. What was the hardest place to play?
Mm, probably, honestly, Cape Central and that
Oh, I
our senior
swear
year.
I was thinking that. Oh
That's
my
just
gosh.
yeah. As far as hard and all that kind of stuff, I mean, that was it's a tough spot for sure. So yeah,
Oh man, that was a tough place to play. What's your favorite gym atmosphere? I can't even believe you got to think about this one, man.
No,
Come
no, no. I
on.
would say, yeah, definitely. I would say Sikeston for sure. As far as community and just, um, I can look up in the stands and see you guys. I can hear you whistling on the court and the guy on the side of the court, barking.
Barking.
And yeah, yeah. I mean, you're not going to beat that. So I mean, I would say Sikeston for sure has a special feel to it.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Who was your favorite teammate?
Probably say, Parker.
As an easy answer, but I like it. I like it. I like it. Of course, as long as you guys weren't fighting.
Yeah,
I,
yeah. Even if we're fighting, I was the kind of brother, and how I was like, I still want to give him a hug after. Parker probably wanted to.
I know.
He probably wanted to punch me again, or but I wanted to hug him and say we're gonna be all right.
I know you did. I know
Yeah,
you did.
yeah.
Matter of fact, Coach Hollifield has told a story. You guys, he told me one time. He said you guys were fighting, and I think Brian was there, and they said like, "Do I need to break them up?" They're like, "Nope, they're brothers. Just let them fight. They'll be fine. They'll be done here in a minute."
Yep.
I think it was like during the summer or something. He was like, "No,
Yep.
let them fight it out. Let them get it out. They'll be fine. They ain't gonna hurt
Yep.
each other."
For sure. Yep.
I love it. I love it. What's one phrase a coach said to you that you'll never forget?
Probably.
Foot fire,
Yeah,
like
that's
Parker.
one. Yeah, my Coach Doty had a lot. Stricker, of course, had a lot of good sayings. Coach Hofffield had some good ones. But yeah, Doty. One
What?
time I hit a game winner or something, or hit a lot of threes in a row, and he was like, said something about how I had the balls of steel or something like that, or something like that. I was trying
I
to keep it as
like it.
PG as I could.
Right, 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 right. I'm with you. We appreciate that. This is a family show. That's right.
Yep.
That's right. When you were overseas, what American food did you miss the most? A shake from the Cardinal.
Yeah, yeah, probably just like simple food, chicken wings, burgers, anything processed. Because everything,
Right, right.
everything,
Anything
it's like,
processed.
yeah.
I love it. I love it. Um, this is probably an easy one. Spain or Southeast Missouri food? What's the best? Which would, if you could have either of them, what would you choose?
It'd probably just depend on the day and depend on what I'm doing. If I was an athlete, the Spaniard diet would probably be better for me. But as far as just
Yeah,
going out and eating and all that, Southeast Missouri.
love it. I love it. What's the best basketball city you visited on your journey? Was Mallorca? Was it a basketball town kind of? I mean,
So everything over there is soccer, soccer crazy. So I would, as far as basketball city, I mean, trying to think. I mean, St. Louis is pretty cool as far as hoops. Cool. I would say this: the cool city or like a neat experience. We got to go to L.A. At Youngstown, so
mm,
that we got to go to Venice Beach, Santa Monica, and we played at Fresno State, which was a big time
yep,
atmosphere. Um,
yeah,
and that was pretty cool.
that is cool. That is cool. What's one word? What's bless you? What's one word that describes Sikeston basketball?
I would say, I would say intense.
That is definitely Coach Hollifield.
Yeah,
He is intense. There's no question
intense.
about
Yeah.
that.
And he's gonna get the
Yeah,
best out of you. I'll say
yep,
that.
yep. And last one of our lightning round questions. If you could replay one game from your career, which one would that be?
probably my senior year of college. I had a game where I hit 8 threes in the second half, and I think and that was an awesome game where I got to. That's probably one of the hottest probably the hottest I ever got in a college game, is just far as just getting buckets and all that. Yeah.
Wow, that's awesome. What'd you finish with that night?
I think like 38 or 36.
Sheesh. Yeah, you were a walking bucket that night. Dang.
That was a good night. That was the night I was hitting. I had a lot of nights where I missed a lot of shots, but that was one of the nights I was making most of them.
Dang. Dang, you were getting after it. So Parker, and I don't want to keep bringing up Parker because this is about you, but Parker, he's kind of chasing basketball kind of as his thing. Is that something that have you kind of considered that as well? Or is this, you've kind of settled in, this is kind of what you think you want to do? And I'm not trying to put you on the spot. I'm just curious.
Yeah. Of course, I had my thoughts about, I coached in high school basketball in Ohio a little bit.
Okay.
And I thought about doing some college coaching a little bit, but no, for sure, what I'm doing right now and getting to work with Dad and be around the family and all that. It's an opportunity I'm super fortunate to have and grateful, and it's
That's awesome.
and, so I think my feet are planted here, and I'm excited to see what happens. Got a lot to learn, a lot of moving parts, and all that good stuff. But yeah,
Well, good. Micah, did I miss anything? Absolutely. Yep. Oh man.
yeah.
Literally around the world.
Oh yeah. It's made me who I am today, and it. That's the cool thing about basketball. It can take you, or a sport or anything. It can take you places you never thought you would go, and meet people
Right.
and be in different
Right.
cultures and all that. And so it's been an awesome run.
Right.
I would go for I'll go for a week, probably max. And if I'm as crazy I am about the Cardinal as I am right now, I don't know if I'll ever be able to leave the country without being able to get back to the Cardinal if something happened. So I'm sort of going. So
Right. Right.
yeah.
I understand.
Yep.
Now you're speaking your dad's language right
Oh
there.
yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
The bird's calling.
For sure. Yep. One day, hopefully,
So
Dad and Mom can ride off to the sunset, and Dad doesn't have to worry as much. But I don't know if Dad will ever be able to fully ride off into that. No, hopefully he can trust me enough, but got a long ways to go.
Yep. That's great.
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
Yep.
Right. Um well, Owen, man, one last question. Give us 3 suggestions of some folks we need to have on our show.
How about we do Trey Jenkins?
I can let me I'm gonna grab my phone just so I can put these down. You're right, we do need to get Trey on here. Me Okay.
Uh, let's do Kevin Jones.
Speaking of that, I just saw that he graduated
Yep.
from Harris Stowe. Yep.
Yeah.
And if you know what, I may holler at you to get his number and text him.
Okay.
See if I don't know if he's in town or if he's in St. Louis or whatever. But yeah, we could do this with him if he's not here.
Okay.
Cool. Yeah, that's a great one. Got one
And
more?
let's think. Let's do maybe PJ Farmer, somebody like that would be good.
We had PJ on actually last
You had
summer.
PJ.
He and
Tracy.
Trace did.
Okay.
We had those two together. Yep.
Okay.
They're a good one, by the way. If you get a chance to listen to it.
Maybe Peyton Howard. You have Peyton on?
Peyton's. Yep. No, I have not. That's a
Yeah.
good one. That's a great suggestion. Thank you. Thank you. That's awesome. All right, Owen, man, we have enjoyed it. Man, it's good to see you again.
Okay.
I know our families have talked about getting down your way. Your mom and dad's talked to us, and we need to get back down there and go check out the boat scene again. See if I can not lose any sunglasses in Smith Lake like I did last time. So, Luke, go
Hey,
go check it out. Go
come
check
on,
it out.
come
You
on.
you
Hey,
will
yeah,
not
come on.
be disappointed. Be ready
Yeah,
to wait though. Man, that place is like a zoo around there. It's busy.
yeah. Yeah. We are, and I actually manage on Sundays. So yeah,
Uh-oh.
so you can yeah, you swing on
He,
by, just say hey,
he'll hook
it's
you
Micah.
up.
Yeah, I'll be
He'll
like, hey
hook you
man, I got
up.
you on the house. Yeah.
Was
Yep.
it probably is an hour maybe?
Yeah,
Oh, it's not even
yeah,
that far.
yeah,
Okay. Okay,
yeah,
yeah. Ah,
yeah.
you can go by there.
And there's a rumor
Heck, you
that
might as well.
our milkshakes don't get nasty in a long car ride. Some guy came and got a milkshake one time and took it all away and didn't drink it. I don't know where he was going, but he said, "Hey, it still tasted good." So I think you'd
Oh,
be all right. Yeah, yeah,
those things are so good. That and the strawberry Mountain Dew.
yep.
Isn't that what it is?
Yeah, and that's sort of our trademark. Yeah. You can. We get a lot of
There you
those.
go. You
Yeah.
drink Diet Mountain Dew, Micah? Oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
If
Okay.
you're
There you
Are you a
go.
big sweet tea guy, Micah? Okay. Okay.
It doesn't like him. It doesn't like him.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
I get it.
I got you. I got you. I got you.
She's on you.
No.
All right.
Okay.
Awesome.
Okay.
Awesome.
Well, yeah, and honestly, before I go, this was what you guys are doing is super cool, and the questions and the format
Thanks, man.
were great. I appreciate y'all having me on. Parker, of course.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
Sikeston
Love it.
was a fantastic time. Definitely some nostalgia when I come through there, and it was a great experience. And appreciate you guys and everyone that
Absolutely.
was a part of our lives.
Lot of people don't know, but Owen lived with us
Yeah,
basically about what the whole like 20 like the whole summer of 2020 during COVID. Is like I ain't
yeah.
gonna be hanging. I mean, I ain't gonna be stuck somewhere. We're coming. I'm like, come on, brother. You got the whole basement.
Had a blast. Had a blast. And my
Yeah,
alarm clock was Luke Tanner singing and playing the piano upstairs.
I love it. That is true. Him singing
Yep.
that would wake you up
Oh
every
yeah.
morning. There's
Oh yeah.
no doubt. I
Oh yeah.
love it. I
Yep.
love it.
Yep.
Man, we enjoyed. No, no,
No,
that was
he
before
did
he.
that. He did that a little bit, but hey, Luke's now in a band, and they're doing their thing. So all that he was working on his craft just like basketball.
Exactly, exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. Oh my gosh. Well, oh man, we have really enjoyed this. We'll look forward to hopefully getting down that way here in a little bit and seeing you guys and catching up with you. Of course, now we got Parker here. He's
Yep.
30, 40 minutes from us. Oh,
Yep.
did you? Okay. Oh, awesome. Even better. Even
Sounds about
better.
right. Yep.
Yep, yep. Well, we're glad that you took some time to hang out with us, and we'll be in touch. But man, we finish all of our episodes. Mike and I introduce ourselves one last time, and then we finish it with Go Dogs. So, Micah, I'm Matt Tanner. Thanks for listening to the Doghouse. Go Dogs.